Do you want to introduce yourself?
Right, my name's Mark, I'm from Portsmouth, and my daughter was a victim of child marriage.
Wow, so how old was your daughter when this happened?
She was 16 years old.
So everything was sort of going okay until your daughter became a teenager, is that right?
That's right, yes.
And what happened then?
She went to a school and it was mostly Muslim children there, so she sort of started following the faith. And
was that in Portsmouth?
In Portsmouth, yeah. She became Muslim, which I didn't actually know was happening at the time until I found a Quran under her bed one day and a prayer mat as well.
How did you feel when you found that?
Quite angry at the time, to be fair, because it goes against the grain of my family, sort of, you know, their Christian family, and it's a big thing. It's a big thing to go that path, sort of thing, you know. So,
what concerns did you have for her about becoming a Muslim?
Well, you have it. Is she being groomed? You don't, you know, and that was my first port of call, really. Is she being groomed? Is it an older man trying to groom her into becoming a Muslim? But no, it was just generally all her friends were Muslims around her school, and I mean, she's learned 5 different languages, you know, through it. She's quite an intelligent young girl, in the end, anyway.
Did you challenge her and say, look, are you sure this is a sensible thing to do?
Absolutely. I tried to explain that it would go against my family's religions as such. I mean, I'm not a religious man myself, but my family are. So, and it made it hard. Do you know what I mean? It really did make it hard at first.
Did you think that maybe she would grow out of it and it was maybe just a phase?
Yeah. I've been told to ignore it.
Right.
Try and ignore it and that she'll grow out of it, but no, it didn't happen like that.
So after a while, she went to live with her granddad. But did something prompt that to happen?
She got in with the wrong crowd in Portsmouth, and one morning I went into her bedroom and I found drugs in her bedroom, and I found out that she was smoking weed and things like that. So me being an angry person, I took it straight up to the school with a bag of what I found and just called the teachers and said, look, this is what I found, I need Jacey out of school now. So they've gone and got her, and then I took her straight to the police station. So yeah, it was a big thing, big thing.
That is a very big thing for a parent to do, to basically march their daughter to the police station. I mean, did you wrestle with that? How did you feel?
No, I didn't bat an eyelid, to be fair. It goes totally against the grain of my own personality, you know. Drugs shouldn't be around your children, so that's that.
And what did the police say?
Not much, really.
Right.
they was quite gobsmacked because they've never had this sort of situation where parents brought that sort of amount of drugs in and said, right, I've found this in someone's bedroom. She said it was someone else's, so they couldn't actually prove it was her, so they just took it and disposed of it for me, really. So. And
there was no sort of criminal action?
No, nothing at all.
And was it after that she went to live with her granddad?
When she come home from school, when she come home from the police station with me, she said, I want to go and live with my granddad. So I found her granddad, told him what happened, and the next morning he come and picked her up. And I thought that it might be a new beginning as such.
In Northampton?
Absolutely, up in Northampton, yes.
Did you think at all at that stage about the Muslim dimension? I mean, did you think maybe if she moved to a different area, she would drop the whole Muslim thing?
I was hoping so, but it's very much a Muslim community up there anyway, so it probably pushed her more towards that, if that makes sense.
Mm. And did you keep in contact with her?
I used to go up there every weekend, like maybe every 2 weeks or something, just to make sure she was all right.
It's a long old drive.
It is, yeah, it is, but we do these things for our children, don't we?
And it didn't work out, you said, with the granddad because he was a bit strict.
Very strict.
Which was a good thing.
But he's a Jamaican man, so it's very Catholic as well. Like he's a very religious man, and she sort of hid it all from him as well for a little while.
So is her mother Jamaican then?
Her mother is half Jamaican, so Jacey would be quarter Jamaican.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. And so she wasn't happy living with her granddad because he put down boundaries, which she didn't like.
No, that's right.
And so at one point she took herself off to be put into care.
Well, what it was, he went to Turkey for the weekend.
The granddad?
And when he come back, she'd gone, basically, and she put herself into care.
I mean, this is a massive thing.
Absolutely.
And it must have been quite traumatic for you.
Yeah.
How did you feel? Because to have your daughter decide to put themselves into care,
yeah.
How did you feel as a dad?
I just didn't want people thinking that I was a bad parent as such, do you know what I mean? But like I say, I tried my hardest. I really did try my hardest, and it weren't while she was in my care that it happened, if that makes sense. So,
the child marriage thing.
That's right.
So at this point, she's 14 when she went into care?
She was about 14, I believe, yes.
And she was fostered by a gay couple?
She was.
And you said that might have taken you back a bit, but they were quite nice?
They were very nice people, yes. I mean, I used to go up to visit her and they would let me in the house and I'd go and see her around the home that she was living in as such, you know, so. And
tell me about how it felt the first time you saw her dressed differently. She was wearing Muslim clothes.
Very mixed emotions, really. A bit of anger in there, because obviously it just goes against the grain of my family's religion more than anything, you know.
So tell me about you, the first time that you saw her. She was wearing a burqa.
Yes, yeah, proper burqa, full head scarf, and yeah. It was pretty drastic, if that makes sense.
Quite radical.
Yeah, radical, really.
I mean, she had been a very liberated young woman. She was in the army cadets.
Yeah, she'd done army cadets, she'd done taekwondo, she was grade A student, all that sort of stuff, you know, so.
And she was good at that, right?
Absolutely, yes.
And possibility she would do that as a career at that time.
Well, they did say in the cadets that she was sort of, she could become a sergeant because she was so bossy. So,
wonder where she got that from.
Probably me.
And then you've also got a picture to show us of how she looked when you saw her in the burqa.
Yeah.
And so this time she would have been 15, or
this was in between, like when she went up to Northampton, which is quite radical, really. Like you say, I didn't really want to use that term, but
yeah. So around this time then, she was about 15 when she met her boyfriend, a Polish lad.
That's right.
He was Catholic.
He was Catholic as well, yes.
And despite the fact he was Catholic, somehow or other they got drawn into both being Muslims.
Yeah, they both converted at the same time, I believe.
And they decided they wanted to get married.
Yeah, pretty much.
And as far as you know, no one pushed them into doing that?
I don't think so. I think it was something that...
15 years old?
Yeah, I think she wants a husband and she wants to be a mother, I suppose, and that's, make me a granddad. So...
what was the first you heard about the fact they'd got married?
I had the foster parents. Basically, they went... There was a few pictures on Instagram or one of them sort of sites of her all, like, really pretty. It looked like a wedding dress, to be fair. And they approached her about it and she said, no, I didn't get married and all that. And then they went under her bed and found a marriage certificate, which I've got a copy of it here. It's a bit blurry, but...
And the police have the original
they do indeed,
copy of that. So talk us through, if you just have a look at it, talk us through what it says and what shocked you about what you saw.
It's got my name there and it's got a signature, which I was in Portsmouth, that's in Northampton, so
it says father on there.
And it says father, so someone's faked my name.
So that was a shock. So the foster parents found that marriage certificate in her bedroom.
They did indeed, and they sent me a picture of it straight away.
And they called you?
They called, well, they sent me a picture of it and said it definitely a marriage certificate. Jacey tried to pretend that it was a fake bit of paper, and it went on for about a week, to be fair. And in the end, the police got involved and she fessed up to it and said, yeah, okay, we got married.
So when you say the police got involved, was that because you reported it to the police?
Yes, well, the foster parents did originally, but then no one pursued it from the foster care at all, so it was down to me, really. So I pushed and pushed and pushed, because the thing is, Jacey was quite lucky that she's got a father behind her how many kids out there that they're doing it to that haven't got the backup as such, you know, or being pushed into it. You don't know, do you?
So it turns out that she had got married, the two of them, it was illegal. They had got married at the Central Mosque in Northampton.
That's right.
And it was called under Islam, it was called a nikah marriage ceremony.
Right. Yes.
And the guy that did it was a 52-year-old cleric. And all of that, well, a lot of that is on the certificate. It also says that there was £500 that changed hands there.
That's right.
Who did that money go to the best of your knowledge?
I believe it goes to the actual person that marries her. I think that's a part of the payment, I think. I couldn't totally say it definitely is, but...
Okay, and tell me about why you were so keen to see this brought before the law.
Because, like I explained just a moment ago, it's... Jacey's lucky that she's got a father behind her. There's a lot of children in care and doing the same sort of thing that haven't got someone to watch out for them, you know. You know, even it could be a push marriage. You don't really know. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's highly illegal in this country, so it needed to be brought to justice.
Yes.
So,
according to the court documents, this supposed wedding ceremony took place on the 25th of November 2023.
That's right.
And the Muslim cleric was charged with committing an offence.
He was.
And it took a long time to come to court, didn't it?
It took about a year and a half, I think, a year,
well,
something
a very
like that.
long time,
yeah.
actually, because it only concluded at the end of January this year.
That's right, just recently.
And at the court, it was heard at Northampton Crown Court, Ashraf Osmani, the Muslim cleric, was given what's called a suspended sentence, 15 weeks.
That's right.
Which means he doesn't actually go to prison.
No.
How do you feel about that?
Angry, to be fair. I think it's not very good justice system.
I want to just show you the man who did this to your daughter, because we actually went to find him yesterday at the mosque. This is the cleric.
Oh, right, okay.
How do you feel towards him?
Angry, but I don't mixed emotion, really, you know. Mixed emotion there.
So we spoke to him to try to get his side of the story, and he didn't want to come on camera. But he said his argument was it was an innocent mistake. He said he didn't know the law had changed. I'm finding that a bit of a flaky excuse.
Absolutely.
Because even if the law had not changed, you still needed the permission of the parents.
Yeah.
And clearly you hadn't given permission.
No.
He also said something else which sounded to me as if he knew that these young people, the teenagers, had tried in other mosques. He said they'd been looking around at other mosques. So I have a feeling that perhaps other mosques said, we're not going to do this. Yeah. And he just perhaps didn't ask very many questions. So he's not gone to prison. He's out and about. He's preaching. This is where we found him yesterday. He clearly is still saying it was an honest mistake, and he's upset to have a criminal record. But this is a very serious thing, isn't it?
I think if it was an honest mistake, they wouldn't have forged my signature on the bit of paper. So that's, you know, it's obviously not an honest mistake, is it?
And how is your daughter doing now?
She's doing very well. She's working for the NHS now, and yeah, she's doing really well.
And she's been happy for you to tell her story?
Yeah, I mean, she said don't put her full name in it, which I haven't, so yeah it's, like I explained to her, I'm talking as a father, I'm not talking for her, I'm talking for me. I just want people more aware of what is actually going on under our noses without us knowing, if that makes sense.
And for you feel, from talking to you, it sounds to me as if you feel the schools are one of the key things here.
Absolutely.
It's what's happening in our schools.
Absolutely, it's being pushed, I think, personally. But that's just my opinion. And
your daughter's still a Muslim?
Yeah.
Does she still wear a burqa?
No, she wears a headscarf now, and she's not as radicalised as such, do you know what I mean? It's not as, you know, in your face, if that makes sense.
And what are your hopes for her future? She's clearly had a difficult
She's a very sensible young lady now, that's the thing, and it's, you know, it's, I'm not against the religion in any sort of way. That's the thing. That's not what I'm against. It's where it's being pushed, and you know, vulnerable children, and that's what it's about. I'm here to protect the vulnerable children, and you shouldn't be pushing your religion on other people, if that makes sense.
I mean, there's no doubt your daughter was classically vulnerable.
Absolutely.
She was in care. She was far away from you. You know, you didn't have eyes on that, and the care system, in a sense, let her down.
Yes. Yeah, they have. Like I say, I still haven't even had any sort of feedback from social services whatsoever. It's like they found something and then just brushed it under the carpet. So, you know, if it weren't for me pushing the way I pushed, nothing would have happened anyway.
Well, thank you very much for sharing
You're quite
your
welcome.
story.
Thank you very much.